Hello Stampers, this is super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, USA. Thanks for purchasing my Waterfall Kits in the mail for June 2023. This is the assembly video where I will step you through what's included in your kit and how to assemble your greeting card. Just a footnote. Do not attach this little DSP piece before I tell you to. It's very important, otherwise you're going to get adhesive on the wrong sides. All right, so in your kit, there is included one Fresh as a Daisy. So it'll be Daffodil Delight will be the card base. And there is one Zoo Crew. The card base is either Granny Apple Green or Pool Party. And the reason why I have to change things up is because it's based actually what I have in stock, but also because I can't purchase the Designer Series paper in bulk, so I get 2 sheets of each pattern in each pack. So I can't order like 10 packs so everybody gets the same pattern, but it's coordinating pattern, so hopefully you're okay with that. I'm going to do a little catalog tour and kind of explain that. So you'll see here the Designer Series paper, which is on, some of these are on sale during the month of June. Check my blog for those sale details. They're 15% off the sale price. I used Fresh as a Daisy. I used the greenish tones. They had yellow flowers in them, so I used this pattern. I also used this pattern. I might have to use the pink pattern, but I don't have any more of this one. When I made up this sample, I was already out of the Cajun Craze paper. All right, and then I used the Zoo Crew. Now, I'm calling it Zany Zoo everywhere. I'm not sure why. Maybe that's what the suite is called. Zoo Crew Suite is what it's called. I'm calling it a Zany Zoo. Anyway, you can see all the cute critters. I can only show you one full piece because I have it all cut up. But here is one potential critter category or critter collection that would be included. This one is kind of the hiking backpack theme. And the one I'm assembling with you today is kind of the on-the-road theme. Your embellishments will be an assortment. So I usually include a strip of embellishments. So in this kit, I have this strip from, it's on page 141, number 6, the 2023-2025 in color dots. Now, as I was packing these, like halfway through, I realized these don't have the same shape dots. I was looking for the color though. So if you got these dots in your kit, you might want to set those aside and look in your Zoo Crew kit because you'll have a strip of dots that probably will coordinate with your Fresh as a Daisy. And I prefer to have 2 of the same size dots. So hopefully you can get 2 dots of coordinating colors off of the Zoo Crew kit. All right, so I used this one, number 3, Tinsel Gems. You might have gotten number 4, Tinsel Gems 4-pack. I included the adhesive back solid gems up there, way at the top. I just kind of ran through what I had in stock, partly because we could not pre-order a lot of these things, and so I only had 2 packages of each. I may have included this Glossy Dots assortment. I know I included number 6, the 2023-2025 in color dots. So the colors should coordinate no matter what card kits you got. And then the ribbons I included, again, assortment. I used Balmy Blue for most of the Daffodil Delight, but I also substituted this yellow that was already colored for me from the sheer ribbon combo pack. And then for the Zoo Crew, the Granny Apple Green or Pool Party kit, I use this Lemon Lime Twist ribbon that's up here in the ribbon duo combo pack. All right, so let's get started with assembling your kit. Let's first do the Fresh as a Daisy one. So take everything out. Okay, so here you can see the 2 ribbons. You may have gotten this ribbon, which is part of that combo pack. But I also hand colored this ribbon. It's the Balmy Blue. It's a variegated white into Balmy Blue. I use my Stampin' Blends, the light Daffodil Delight, to color it. And when you mix yellow and blue, you make green. So it color coordinates perfectly with that. So you may have gotten a strip of that until I ran out. And then I used this. Actually, I think if you purchase the 2 kit option, that you may have gotten 1 ribbon of that and then one ribbon with that. And if you get the 2-kit option, you got more color patterns and choices and embellishments to play with. It's just the same design, just different products in each. All right, so fold this in half. That's your first thing. Grab your bone folder. And we're going to bone fold that down because I want a nice flat surface. And then decide which pattern you want up. I definitely don't want the blue up. I want the daisies. I'm going to do 3 runs of the tape runner because we are going to be pulling on this card. I want it to be secure on my card base. And I find I always have to flip that out to make sure it's perfectly centered on that card base. All right, now this is the inside of your card, this 1/6 of an 8.5 piece of basic white, 8.5 by 11 piece of basic white. That just goes on the inside. Set it aside if you want to stamp it first before you put it in the inside. All right, next, let's assemble our watercolor piece. Now here's that designer series paper piece that I mentioned you want to set aside. Do not put any adhesive on this until I tell you, because you're going to want to run adhesive on one side fully, and that is not going to work. So set that aside. We'll get to that in a minute. Grab your waterfall piece, and we will get that started. So here is what we're going for. Now, all of these images on the waterfall are stamped for this kit, so you will need to pull out your stamps and stamp some designs. I'm going to go ahead and pull in my ink pads and some stamps, and we will stamp my little squares here. I'm going to use the garden green ink pad, stamping similar to what I have on my squares here. So first one is hello there. I got a little scratch paper behind my what I'm going to stamp, because I'm going to stamp off or stamp around it. So this one I kind of use the splatter okay, the second one I used this flower, kind of looks like a daisy. No pieces around it. You're on my mind. I am going to opt to do this. Looks like to me a eucalyptus. I'm going to come in this way and fill it. And I will do some splatter on this one. You know what? I'm going to flip that over. Try again. There. I want the little tiny splatters, not the big ones. There. There, like that. Okay, next square is going to be our, oh, it looks like a dried sprig of berries to me. Okay, and then the flap, I am going to, it's this part that I want to stamp. So this part right here, I'm not going to stamp the best wishes and happy thoughts. I'm going to stamp all the rest of it. Kind of give my peekaboo greeting, whatever I type in there, right in there, a frame. I think that's good. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. All right, next, let's work on our mechanism for the waterfall. So pull your card base in. Now, if you recall, this technique is very old, one of the very first techniques we learned. We secured this designer series paper piece down with eyelets. So you might want to swap out, go into your stash and swap out eyelets or brads. We have brads in the catalog. I just didn't have any in my stash to include in the kit. And the person that designed this card used self-adhesive embellishments. Okay, so you're going to lay this flat on your card base. We're just going to show you the mechanism. The designer series paper gets folded over the flap. So I'm looking down here. I'm just going to show a little bit of that DSP between the mechanism bottom and the bottom of the card. Designer series paper over it. And what will happen is we're going to adhere down this flap to the DSP. And when that happens, it will hold this last square in place. And when you pull it, once you get the ribbon attached, the waterfalling part will happen. Okay, so you can see that happen. So let's first get our 4 squares attached. Hello, there's gonna be top, and then that single flower with the side bud, eucalyptus, and then the dried leaves. The dried branch, I should say. And while you're assembling these squares, think about what you're going to do for your pull tab. Now, we don't sell any hand punches any longer, but I have one here handy that we used to sell. And I don't have any punches in on my shelf that are current that have a hole punch in it. So we're just going to have to make do with that. Oh, I flipped it back over because that cardstock had a little blemish right there. Here's the ones that we used to sell. And what I'm going to do for there is just make a hole. And I'm going to I am going to just cut this in half. So I gave you close to 12 inches. Snip it in half. Use the other half or something else. I'm going to twist it, or you do whatever you need to do to get it through your hole. So I brought the hole or the ribbon ends through the back side. I'm going to loop it around and pull the ribbon ends through. You can do it either way. You can bring the ends to the back or to the front as well if you like that look better. So actually I did it both ways. This is pulling the ribbon ends through the back. This one's pulling the ribbon ends through the front. They look a little bit different. This looks more like a gentleman's tie on a suit. Okay, and then I'm going to be messing with this, so I'm not going to worry about the tails right now. All right, so let's work on our waterfall pieces. Your bottom piece is just going to be this piece. Fits over the entire bottom piece. Should be a pretty close fit. So add adhesive and cover up that bottom square. Now the additional 3 squares, we'll just get adhesive on these little shorter pieces on the mechanism. So what I'm going to do is apply adhesive on the mechanism so that I don't accidentally get ahead of myself, and apply adhesive on the back side. So one there. One there. Now all these measurements are in your tutorial. If I get a chance where I'm thinking, I might list them verbally here, but they're in your tutorial that I emailed to you. Might put them at the bottom of the video as well. Okay. All right, now here's this ever important DSP piece. I don't know if I can show you this, but that full bottom square, the mechanism attaches to the DSP, but on the back side, the DSP underneath that square is not attached to anything. We just attach adhesive on either side, on the back side of this DSP. So either's tab on either side. And just so I don't get a little crazy, we're going to add the adhesive on either side on the pattern paper. And for those of you that need a little bit of measurement, that's 1.5 inches and 1/4 up from the bottom of the card is where I put that BSP piece. Okay, now the next layer is, you got to secure that waterfall mechanism, otherwise it's just going to be flopping everywhere. So adhesive just where the mechanism is going to lay on that designer series paper. Fold your mechanism back down on itself and press down. And here's where the magic happens, just like that. Okay, so you can see your pattern paper is kind of pulling up there. That's where this technique was really popular way back when eyelets and brads just came on the scene. It was a fabulous card. I made many of these. But if you've got super sticky adhesive, you might even use tear and tape on either side there. They'll be just fine. Your recipient is not going to be pulling things a lot to make it necessary to pull out your eyelets and brads. All right, now, like I said, I'm going to pull in the embellishments that were in the Zoo Crew kit. Because in this kit, we had these, and I looked at the yellow, and I didn't realize until, like I said early in the video, that they were 3 different sizes. And I prefer to have one, the same side on either side. So that's your first waterfall kit. Yay, you did good. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one's going to be much easier, although you do need to fussy cut. Get your paper snips out and start fussy cutting. All right, here's your Zoo Crew. So my sample card features like the outdoors theme. And let's see here. The one I'm going to assemble uses Granny Apple Green. You may have gotten also a pool party for your base and other creatures. So this kit features kind of on the go, like I said. And I tried to get you a sloth on a unicycle. So all my sloths went in the kits. So look at this. This was the edge of the paper, and I realized it perfectly matched. So we're going to use that for one of them as well. All right, so same kind of steps. Ooh, and you see I am reusing card I had stamped. I ran out of paper. I had stamped some sunglasses from a very old stamp set. All right, now you can decide if you want the dancing ballerinas up or what other paper you got. I like the black and white up, whatever your black and white print is, because if you put the ballerinas up, I think it kind of distracts from your critters on your waterfall, but that's up to you. All right, the ballerinas are cute as well. I think I like them so much because they all have they all have a little flower on their tutu. It's so cute. All right, here's the DSP piece here. Yep, we are going to flip that up, even though you can't really tell what's there. It's just kind of providing contrast and a place for that waterfall to be secured. All right, here's your strip. So strip is 2 by 9 inches, and I scored it at 2, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4 for you already. And it will bend just like that. And, oh, let's see, I already have stuff fussy cut, but I didn't fussy cut the sloth. Now, where did the sloth go? I was so excited to include the sloth, but then there weren't enough sloths. It seemed like there were less sloths than everything else, so let's just fussy cut that. You, for sure, got 4 critters in your pack. You might have gotten 5 because there are most likely an odd number of critters left, and I don't need to add them to my scrap pile. I thought you could decorate the inside of the back of your card with them, but you for sure got 4 critters in your pack because you have 4 little squares to decorate. I actually am going to put the sloth in the inside, so whoever gets this card, it won't be as noticeable as if I put the sloth in the outside. Okay. Our paper snips are great for this type of thing. All right, so again, 4 squares. Your basic white pieces are 1 3/4 inches, and the Granny Apple Green, the mounting squares are 2 by 2. like to do things assembly line here. I'm getting this straight on. And 4. Okay, now, Sloth, where are you? Lay out your fussy cut pieces. Again, you gotta fussy cut those yourself. See where you want them all to go. Now the top 3, you need to make sure that your images fit within that 2-inch square. They can actually hang off the sides, but they can't hang off the top because they would get crushed. The last one could be longer. In this case, I tried to put the ostrich on skates there, and I think that would work. The fox would work for a good bottom one because, well, I think I could probably fussy cut that a little more. The alligator or crocodile would work on any square. So let's decide how we're going to do this. How about alligator on the top? Bunny second. Sloth third. And the fox fourth. We're going to put the ostrich on the back. Again, you would have received 4 images. If you got a 5th one, you got a bonus one. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that. Form it up, and nobody's gonna know that that sloth was on 2 ends of the paper. If a true paper crafter gets this card, they might realize what happened, or they could think that I accidentally cut him in half, which, you know, when you cut paper, y'all know as soon as you cut it in half, you know, at the second you finish cutting that it's wrong. All right, so alligator, bunny, and fox. Oh, let's look at this fox. I'd like to kind of all of that there, but if I don't need it, if I make it fit a little better, let's just do that. Yeah. Okay, now if your alligator and your fox fall off of their square, make sure you don't glue the whole thing. Because if I could put glue on the smoke trails or on the tail here, it's going to stick to your card and not do the waterfall effect. All right, this is the inside of the card. I'm going to put that in there. Do a little side note here, one last thing on my workstation. Okay, and again, fox is going to go on the bottom. Let's just lay it all out here and flip it over so we know where we're going here. Just put adhesive on the bottom square only, bottom square only. And layer it over the bottom square on your mechanism. Should fit pretty well. And then put adhesive on your mechanism on these little half pieces. Flip this over and adhere at the top. Cute, cute, cute. Sometimes you just need a cute card. And this is it. All right, now we get a second chance at our mechanism here. All right, about right here is where I want it. And adhesive on either side. Again, pull out your tear and tape if you feel that's a more secure adhesive option. Okay, so now our mechanism is moving freely. Oh, and before we secure that mechanism down, let's get our pull tab ribbon going. This one, how about I put it through the front so you can see maybe the difference between the two. If you do not have any kind of hole punch in your arsenal, then grab your paper piercing mat and your paper piercer, your take your pick tool, and just make a hole. You don't need a fancy tool for that. Okay, so you can see the two different ways that I did. This is with the tails going through the front. This is the tails that have been going through the back side. I like this much better. And you can see the difference on the two samples here. Tails going through the front, tails going through the back side. They're both okay. I think I still prefer that look better. All right, pull this up, making sure it's kind of centered, not touching your adhesive on either side. Just, a tiny smidge up on the bottom there. Add your adhesive to the DSP, just within the bounds of your mechanism strip. Fold that back and press down. Now, cross your fingers. This should be pulling. Just like that. I had a moment there where I thought maybe I didn't hit start video. That would be awful. Okay. And then grab your strips. This particular strip, you get 5 of each color. And paper piercing or tool is everywhere. So went somewhere else. Pool Party coordinates with the Fox motorcycle scooter. So we're gonna put, and this is not necessary for the mechanism. It's just a little added bling. So if you don't like it, you don't have to add it. You can save your embellishments for a different project. All right, so that's it. You may or may not have an extra ample animal, zoo crew animal. You have a little bit of the adhesive left over. May have a full strip of embellishments somewhere too. Those are for use somewhere else. So that's it for my Waterfall Kits in the Mail for June 2023 assembly video. Hope you enjoyed creating your card. Make sure you look at the tutorial, your email tutorial, for all of the additional samples from the other demonstrators in the collaboration. They submitted their versions of the same card in the PDF tutorial to help get your ideas flowing with your own products. And in addition, I am selling the tutorial. It is $24. You get one tutorial a month for 12 months. And I'm also throwing in some tutorials from last year as well, because we were in this group last year and I sporadically shared those tutorials. I just want to get them out to people who will enjoy them. All right, a couple more things. My host code is here. If it is expired or does not work, go to my blog at superawesomestamper.com, and my current host code will be listed on my blog. Use a host code if your order is less than $150 excluding shipping and tax, or don't use it if it's greater than that, but stay shopping with me so that I can email you an inspiring pretty paper projects idea file. That is just like a virtual swap. Samples are portrait style cards with supply lists and measurements. You can recreate them in your own stamp studio. Last, I mentioned the Designer Series paper sale. Select kits of the Designer Series paper is on sale for 15% off through the end of July. Pretty sure the Fresh as a Daisy and the Zoo Crew are included in the sale. Not all of the packages are included in the sale as well, so make sure you review all the details on my blog at superawesomestamper.com. They're also on my online store as well, which you can access through my blog at superawesomestamper.com. Send me an email or click the contact button if you have any questions. And thank you for purchasing my kits in the mail, and we'll stamp with you soon. Bye!